All right, guys, I sent a clip to the Rundown chat because it's in the Rundown Bowl.
Yep.
Bernie Kosar was supposed to join us today. However, Bernie had some last-minute things come up and unfortunately could not come in. So I said, okay, we already had the Guardians in today's show. We already talked a lot about the Browns. Let's talk a little Cavs. There was a clip from Jeff Teague's podcast, which, by the way, most former player podcasts are horrific.
His is pretty good.
Jeff Teague's is terrific.
He'll say anything.
He'll say anything.
But didn't he say, like, Caitlin Clark's not very good or something stupid like that? Was that him?
It was on his podcast. It was somebody else.
Oh, okay.
I'm not saying it's the most ingenious podcast ever, but it's incredibly entertaining.
All right.
It is.
And Jeff Teague played for Kenny Atkinson back in Atlanta.
Yeah.
And this is a minute 20 clip from Jeff Teague's podcast.
That Bull is watching for the first time.
Shout out to Giannis.
That Bull's about to see for the
Started
first
off
time.
with my boy Giannis.
That is going to inspire a question off of this clip.
Okay.
So this is the clip from Jeff Teague's podcast, and then I got a question for you guys afterwards.
Kenny Atkinson, coach of the Cavs, told me he's going to be the best player in the NBA, him and Steph Curry. He literally told me that. He said, I watched this kid dribble and throw a behind the back pass. I knew he's gonna be the best player in the league. He was like, we gotta trade up and get him. That's why I told you the Hawks was trying to get him.
Nah, I remember we had that conversation.
Kenny made me a believer because he said that. And I always believe what Kenny said because he told me what Steph Curry was gonna be. And I was like, hell no. And then when Steph Curry started killing, well, all right, man, you the GOAT. Whatever you say, I'm start believing because you just told me Steph Curry was gonna be the best. He's like, his footwork is just better than everybody's. He told me Kyrie was gonna be good. But then when he seen Giannis, he said, I'm telling you, Jeff, he gonna change the NBA. He's skilled. Oh my God. He was so hyped.
Yeah, Kenny undefeated because you say he said it about Joker too.
Oh man, he said it about Jokic. Man, he's like the best player on their team. Dude was coming off the bench. They was starting
Nurt.
Nurt. He was like, man, it's a kid on their bench 10 times better than Nurt. And he had like 10 and 10 on us the first time we played him. He had a double-double off the bench. He was like, he's the best player on their team. And I was like, hell no. I'm telling you, Jeff, he's the best player on the team. And to see him being the MVP, Kenny, bro, you special, bro.
Kenny sound like Kenny need to do everybody draft.
He do. Sam Merrill just got paid. Shout out to Sam. He was on the team with me at the Bucks. I've never seen this, Sam. I've never seen it.
You ain't see the vision.
I didn't see it. Kenny got the eye. Sam, I ain't see it.
So he correctly predicted Giannis would turn into a star when no one thought Giannis would reach that level.
Yeah.
Well,
Too bad he wasn't on the Cavs scouting staff when they have the number
He
one pick in
was
that draft.
Yeah.
way ahead of the curve on
Nobody.
Steph Curry. He
He
correctly.
doesn't get credit for Kyrie because I think a lot of people.
I'm not
Kyrie
giving
was
him
gonna
Kyrie.
be-
That's number one overall pick.
Yeah.
He
Oh,
correctly
there was
predicted.
a lot of risk in picking Kyrie. A lot of
There
risk.
were also a lot of people that thought he was going to be really good.
Played 10 games in college. There
Yeah,
was a lot
I
of
hear
risk.
you.
He predicted Jokic turning into a
Yeah,
star,
that's
and that's an
impressive.
impressive. So the question I wanted to ask you guys, and Bull, I actually want to start with you on this Cavs
Please.
topic.
Ooh.
Knowing the track record of what you just heard,
Yeah.
and knowing how Kenny has spoken of Evan Mobley since he became the head coach of the Cavs, are you a little more inclined to believe that Kenny truly does see something special in him to where Kenny believes he can reach the heights that we have reached, or is that going too far?
Well, here's the thing I'll say though, the caveat, Mike, because after hearing that, it sounds like Kenny Pickett. Kenny
Atkinson.
It sounds like Kenny Atkinson does have a very good eye for talent, right? And why would Jeff Teague make that up?
Oh, he wouldn't.
Doesn't
No,
make
he
any
wouldn't.
sense.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, Mike. These are things that he didn't make public. He told Jeff Teague, or he told other players, whatever. Like, it wasn't public knowledge that Kenny Atkinson predicted these guys would be good before it happened. So we don't know if behind the scenes he's saying these things about Evan Mobley. Of course, in the public, he's not going to say anything bad about Evan Mobley. So what I'll say is, if Kenny Atkinson is saying the same things about Evan Mobley that he did about those guys, then yeah, I do feel even better. I mean, Evan Mobley's already a good NBA player, but if Kenny Atkinson thinks he's going to be a star, you probably feel pretty. I mean, obviously he's not going to get it right every time. Maybe there were some guys he said were going to be great that Jeff Teague didn't mention, but that's a pretty good track record, at least what we heard. So, yeah, I would, but I can't compare what he says to Jeff Teague privately and what he said publicly about Mobley, because that's not an apples-to-apples thing.
Go ahead. I didn't look at Mobley in this whole thing, even though, because I feel like Mobley has taken the strides. I think Mobley will be good. Like, I actually looked at the kid they just drafted, what's his name? Proctor.
Tyrese Proctor?
That's who I looked at. Like, okay, if Kenny wanted this guy in the draft and they was guaranteeing contracts and all that, maybe he's like a Steph Curry, like, because if Kenny wanted him for a reason, right? Like, if they willing to.
Well, you got to pick from what's left at that point.
Well, that's true too. But what do we have?
Steph went in the top 10.
They guaranteed this man contract.
Yep.
Like, if you're doing that, like, it's got to be something there. And if Kenny is that good at it, recognizing talent like that,
I have heard very good
I
things
expect
about Proctor.
this kid to be really good. That's who I didn't think about Mobley. I know the exercise said Mobley. I read the rundown, so I did know that this was on there. But I immediately went to him.
Yeah, I've heard good things about Proctor from other teams who thought the Cavs did a nice job of navigating that situation, getting the pretty good talent at the pick that they had. I don't know. I mean, listen, Mike and I have sang Mobley's praises louder than anybody on the show. So, yeah, I believe it. And I believe Kenny does believe he could be a good player. Yeah. But I don't know that you can make this connection only because he's the head coach. What else is he supposed to say about it?
Right, exactly.
And I'm sure, to your point earlier, I'm sure he's got a Brandon Knight in there or something of this guy's going to be a star. Yeah. But it doesn't matter. I mean, to call Steph Curry that, and again, Steph was a top pick. But,
but you didn't think he was going to be
nobody
what
thought he was going to be.
Right.
And Giannis, I had scouts tell me Giannis should go in the second round. Because I mean, one person who told me that's a GM today in the NBA. And
you had Giannis going in the second round?
Yeah, because there just wasn't much body of work on him, and he was scrawny and skinny. I didn't.
Shame on them.
No, I talked to someone who's now a GM who said he should be a second round. He shouldn't go above the second round.
His team
his point was someone is going to take him. I wouldn't take him before the second round. There's too much risk.
His team
the Giannis thing is crazy. The whole Giannis
and
Jokic
is
crazy.
too.
Well, I mean, and I'm mad.
There is actually other people in the league who thought Jokic, not 3-time MVP good.
Yeah.
But who saw Jokic are like, whoa. Even when he's coming off the bench. I remember talking to people who are like, man, the Nuggets are loaded at center, and they got, like, the dude behind him might be even better. So, but again, maybe not to this level, but there was, I remember talking to a couple people who felt like Jokic could be pretty good.
I just don't like the fact that Teague said that nobody saw Giannis being this good but Kenny. Like, that's a lie.
I mean, he went, what,
13th? Clearly, I did.
Was it 15th?
Clearly, you
15th. He was the first pick after the lottery.
Clearly, the Bucks did.
Me and the Bucks, we saw it the same way.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine Cavs could have had Giannis and LeBron on the same team. Although maybe
that would have been you'd have clogged the paint.
I mean,
LeBron would have had to be who he is now as far as shooting.
I think he could have figured it out there, Tyvis.
But I mean,
well, it ain't like Giannis came in the league the guy he is now.
Bennett wound up going in the trade to Minnesota for Kevin Love, so who knows how this whole sliding doors theory, who knows how the whole thing plays out.
The Cavs fleeced them like that.
What's that?
They fleeced the Timberwolves like that. And
they gave them
Bennett.
Wiggins and Bennett for Kevin Love.
They fleeced them.
I mean, Wiggins was the number one overall pick.
I understand. I ain't talking about him.
So was Bennett, yeah.
Yeah, that was.
Nobody knew Bennett was going to be the worst number one pick in the history of the
Bennett.
By the way,
Bennett
speaking of bad picks,
Kwame Brown.
I saw these two guys who I watch their Instagram sometimes. They were doing a draft of the best fat basketball players of all time.
Fat basketball?
Yeah. It was very funny. Like they were.
I'm very interested in this draft.
Yeah, and then they were looking for you to decide whose team was better. So, like, one guy had...
Are you going strictly off poundage, or are you going off of...
No, like, the quality of the team, but they got to all be fat guys. And sometimes it was specific. Like, one guy was like, I'll take James Harden in his last week at Houston, or wherever it was, where he got really fat at the end of the season.
Yeah.
And then it was like, I'll take Shaq in his last couple of years. You had Zion. Somebody took Zion, Big Baby Davis.
I mean, Jared Dudley, there's one... I think when Dudley was in Phoenix, he looked like me out there with a headband. I told LeBron after the game, like, Dudley's fatter than I am.
Yeah, and what did he say?
He cracked up. But that was not a good look. I think it was Dudley.
Tractor Trailer was on there. Remember that guy?
Yeah.
Yep.
It was a funny thing. I like that.
Tyvis, you mentioned Tyrese Proctor earlier.
Is that where you went with it when you seen the video?
No, my mind more went to Mobley, but I got a chance to talk to Proctor on Tuesday. He had a charity event over at Dick's Sporting Goods. He bought back-to-school gear for a bunch of kids through an athletic program.
That's
cool. Really cool event. He's huge, by the way. we talk about the guards and a lot of the undersized guards the Cavs have. Like, height is not a question with this guy.
Yeah.
He's got put
That's
on
good.
some muscle. He's a little wiry.
Yeah.
But he's a legit 6'6", and with his hair, he's like 6'7", 6'8". He had it in
Well, the hair
cornrows
can't
on.
really guard, so I don't know.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Like,
Yeah.
there's
Over under 1.5 mentions of Mike playing D3 hoops to the, when he spoke to Proctor.
Oh, over.
Over?
I did ask him at the end.
Yeah.
I didn't tell you I played D3 hoops, but
Yeah.
we were having a chat. He did the interview. He was a cool guy. We're talking to him after. I'm like,
Yeah.
hey, you're a shooter, which means you could identify other shooters in the room of us. And it was the people in the media standing there. I'm like, who do you think's the best shooter out of us? And he correctly identified me.
Oh,
But,
well, you asked the question.
Granted, it was not the most athletic.
I mean, who
Just
was
say,
there?
who's standing
Jeff
next to you?
Shadell?
Jeff was not there. It was me, Ethan, Spencer, Davies were the three that you guys may know.
Ethan? Who's Ethan?
Ethan Sands.
Ethan Sands.
If
he
Earl,
was perfect.
Oh, yeah,
would have
yeah,
been
you're
in the room, would he have picked Earl?
Good chance he would. Well, Ethan, I've played with Ethan. I've actually played with Ethan and Spencer.
Ethan's
Ethan
a good baseball player. Does he play basketball too?
Ethan?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's played with me at pickup a couple of times. He's decent.
All right.
Spencer,
Spencer's
hustle
terrible.
guy. He's a hustle guy. We'll just leave,
In
we'll
other
leave it
words,
at
he's
that.
terrible.
Yeah, elbows and fouls guy.
Yeah, he leaves a little to be desired from the offensive standpoint. But Tyrese was a good dude, and you hear like big wing, right,
Yeah.
or big guard
Yeah.
fits the profile. So we'll see how he can play. We'll see how he'll slide in. He's gonna get more opportunities with the Strus injury news. I know you
Yeah.
guys talked about it yesterday,
Yeah.
but he's one of the guys that's gonna get some increased minutes. Him and Jalen Tyson both. I think we'll see an increased role early on until Strus gets back.
When is Strus supposedly coming? Like, how long's he out for?
A couple months, 3-4 months.
3-4
It'll
months.
be interesting. No Strus and no Darius for the first.
October.
No, I mean, it'll be interesting to see, like,
Yeah.
some. Not that it's a big deal.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, I'm curious to see, what he play, who he plays, and like how these guys look.
I mentioned this yesterday because Dustin said he's had the Jones fracture before.
Right.
And he said 6 weeks he'll be back and moving. But the Cavs put a 3 to 4 month timeline before he returned to basketball activities, and I think that was smart because Kevin Durant had this in OKC.
Yeah.
It wrecked his entire season because he came back too soon. He came back after 2 months. Then he had to leave again, have a second surgery, and he played like less than 30 games.
Yeah.
Zion missed over a year with this. So you got to be careful with the rehab
Right.
on something like this. It sounds like small and minor. It's a little bone in your foot, but you got to be careful with this.
Speaking
We had
of,
real quick. Okay,
Yeah.
we're declarated at Emerson. We had two guys throughout my 4 years break the same fifth metatarsal, the Jones fracture. One guy was back in 2.5 months. The other guy, to Jason's point, ended up missing the whole season. Tried to come back too early, and I've
pressure.
learned because it's this tiny bone in your foot. It's the fifth metatarsal. It's your pinky toe, basically. If it's not healed, it doesn't heal. You know what I'm saying? It has to actually be healed. And other than that, there's nothing you can do.
Too much pressure. Guys were pressured to come back at Emerson by Coach O'Brien. O'Brien, right?
It was, Jim
A
O'Brien.
lot of pressure. Jim putting the kids on the hot seat right there.